A leader has to take the risks. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, man?
Brother, what a pleasure to see your smiley face. Wow.
So where are you, man? You in Dubai?
No, I'm back in Italy for a couple of days. I'm going to Lake Como in few days, like I think 3 days.
Awesome, awesome. And so,
yeah,
what are you going to be doing, and who are you going to Lake Como with, man?
Actually, alone with a crypto guy.
Okay.
Just he's coming like after 3 days. Yeah, like I spent 4 days with him, and he's a like maniac. You know, one of those nerds.
Okay.
That knows everything, because now it's time. You know, the bull run is coming, so
right.
To get all the shields and swords.
Okay. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen, man? I mean, what's your prediction?
So I think this bull run, brother, is much more. It's not just, you know, like a flow of capital coming in the market. I think it's much more a well-directed capital, because it's no more like just hype, you know, and whatever, you know, people talking about it. It's much more a utility bull run. Like it's like money flowing into the right projects and not just Bitcoin or ETH, because, you know, the protocols are changing, the rules also about energy, you know, criteria about energy. So the mining is going to be for sure you know, blocked a little bit. There are going to be regulations about that. So I think it's going to be different, but it's going to go heavy. Okay.
And in what ways do you think it's going to be different? Like what are you talking about when you say that?
So what I mean, it's because last bull run was much more about just, you know, BTC, ETH, and of course some coins here and there, but people were much more, and also the market was like less trained, less coached. Like it was just, you know, as I said before, a flow of capital going into the market and people buying BTC. But now I think it's much more directed, because it's like now we see the real utility of the blockchain. Like, what is the projects? What are the projects that are really useful for the marketplace? Because money is just gonna go in that direction and no more into hype and everything. So yeah, for example, there are the ESG criteria. So environment, social, and governance criteria in the crypto space, which now is like, for example, how much one blockchain is environment friendly. So how much producing BTC is, you know, pro the carbonic, you know, the carbo producing whatever. Yeah, it's smarter now. Like, I think the bull run, of course, is coming and everything is gonna go up in general, but I don't think we're gonna see like a stupid moves. I think we're gonna see people who know they're gonna profit a lot. People who just are waiting for BTC to go up, whatever, they're not gonna profit that much anymore.
Gotcha. So BTC is not going to be BTC is going to kind of run like maybe a gold or something like that, maybe like a slow mover over time, and then you're going to see these smaller projects explode a little bit faster. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's what I believe.
Okay.
Because there's so many projects for real that are really useful. So, you know, for example, you know, BTC has no protected data. Everyone can see who transfers money to who.
Correct.
You can, you know, correct.
Which was supposed to be the whole goal, right? I mean, in the beginning, that was supposed to be the whole goal, is transparency.
Exactly. So you like, we can all see those anarchic side of the world saying, we love cryptocurrency because, you know, we're breaking free of all the governance, you know, about governs, you know, whatever, the states. But actually, first of all, that's impossible in general, you know, because come on, let's be real. First of all, nothing works if it's not controlled. Anarchy does not work. So it's just a utopia, you know, it's something people eager to, but at the end of the day, it's not possible. Second thing, it's not allowed. Like, of course, you know, like governments don't want free money going here and there, money laundering and all those things. So regulatory processes are in place, of course, and I think in very, very little time, everything is going to come up the surface. And also companies, if we really think, as the crypto people say, that the crypto space is going to go, broad, and everyone is going to adopt it because it's the future, blah, blah. So how can we think that companies want to adopt blockchain to transfer money to each other if everyone can see all transactions? Would you ever do that if you had a company? I wouldn't.
Right.
I would want to keep my
so
stuff.
it's just what's happening right now is we're transitioning into an age of cryptocurrency is going mainstream. That's basically what's happening right now.
And as it's going mainstream, so majority of people are not gonna profit.
Right.
Because if it would be too strange. Everyone going wide, the market, and then everyone profits. Nah. Right. It's always the opposite. If it's going wide, less people profit.
Right.
Back then it was much more, narrowed the space, because you had to believe in something that still was back then unsafe and unsure. And that's why everyone who did that profited, let's say. Now it's going wider, but much more strategic, let's say. And also, yeah, as I said before, like the blockchain technology is going to be adopted, and for example, the BTC blockchain, it's open, so everyone can see, and that's why it's not going to go up as people think. And I think that blockchains that have a hybrid system. So, for example, there are private and public together. So if you want, I can show my transactions because maybe I want that people see. But if I don't want, there's a private side, so I can transfer my money from my company to your company and nobody sees that. So yeah, that's all. That's a big topic. Nobody talks about it. Everyone just hypes it up. Crypto.
Right. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's still, there's no question this is getting adopted. I mean, especially when we find out that BlackRock has a major stake in cryptocurrency. So we're talking one of the most powerful companies in the world is now adopting, it very, very heavily. And they've probably been adopting it for the last 10, 20 years, 10 years, you know what I mean? Because they're, they've been strategically putting their money in there. And then once they let it out, once they let the cat out of the bag, I don't know, I could be wrong, but this is when I saw the turn, at least this last couple of months, I saw the turn in perception on cryptocurrency is when everybody found out that BlackRock was heavily recommending cryptocurrency. Did you see any of that at all? Did you see any of that correlation?
Yes. We heard it over here in Europe. I as you said, brother, I think they've been doing that since a long period of time.
Right.
But as always, when they tell the mass, I wouldn't say it's too late, because still the cryptocurrency space, DeFi and stuff, it's super early. Mm-hmm. I was just checking yesterday in the DeFi space, so the centralized finance, there is just 9 billion from Coinbase. From the Coinbase platform, only 9 billion have been sent to the DeFi, something like that. Like, it's a super small cap market, but the usefulness is going to be big. So still it's early, but I would say to everyone watching the podcast that they open their eyes quick, because there's a lot of work to do, lots of studies to do.
Yeah. So, well, it's nice to see you again. We were out in Italy, a couple of months ago, maybe 4 months ago, we were in Italy and got to speak at one of your events. How did that go? Was everybody pretty excited to see California Daniel Alonzo out there, man?
Absolutely. Like there's this myth in Europe still a little bit, about in general, somebody overseas coming and it's fabulous because for real, you Americans think different. That's the truth. There's nothing which is not better or worse. I would say just different. You think bigger. That's 100% sure. Like, things are bigger. You don't even have to go to Texas to see things bigger. You just go to Cali, everywhere. Things
Right.
are bigger. And I can tell you when I go to eat and I ask for desserts, they bring you like a piece of cake, which is like these. In Italy, you ask for a dessert and it's a dessert, like dessert. Anyways, yes, people were.
Well, that's why people are in better shape in Italy. That's for sure. So, and it's funny because I just got back from Istanbul and I was doing 15, 20,000 steps every day. It's crazy. When you're in Europe, I notice, man, the Europeans, they just walk so much more. Do you notice that? That just everybody walks, man. I mean, you go to the store, you walk. You go this
Also
place,
because
that
I
place.
think it's more beautiful, maybe the landscape.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I think so. And also, like, I don't know, people are just more open to using metro systems, and there's more metro systems everywhere. There's more places to get on and off. And I don't know. I just feel like I felt so comfortable getting into the metro. And of course I used Ubers all the time. I mean, of course, because I don't have a car over there, but it was just really comfortable to always get an Uber, a driver, get onto the metro, shoot right over to the European side. And I mean, it was incredible. And so I noticed that. So tell me a little bit about, Joe, tell me a little bit about your upbringing. What was your childhood like? Because you are a young, motivated, ambitious, big thinker, by the way, big thinker, that grew up in Italy, and you are one of those people that defies kind of the normal European, the normal Italian. How did you grow up, man? And why do you think you're like that?
That's a good question. So my upbringings are pretty basic. My mom has a little company here in Italy, in Torino specifically. My dad is an employee. So we grew up in a normal family. Everyone worked, we studied, we went to my brother is older than me. My sister got adopted when she was 2. Now she's 17. So I have a younger sister, older brother. Everyone, studied. My brother studied medicine. So he's very, 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 very smart. And so what made me like this? I would say I don't know. I think I was conscious of my unhappiness because I wasn't depressed, because I think people nowadays need to go to depression or maybe a car accident or maybe they get diagnosed with cancer to wake the hell up. They need to have a shock, an emotional shock to say, maybe I need to change my life. I don't know why, but I think my soul was conscious about my unhappiness. I think that normal, average unhappiness, that kind of, I would say, disease that so many people have, and they think it's normal to be, how are you? Everything is fine, could be better. And I was that kind of person. So normal, smart, educated. I think that consciousness told me, get up, and we know that after you decide to build a different kind of normal, life becomes more beautiful. To me, nowadays, it's normal to work my body out. To me, it's normal to think positively. To me, it's normal to smile at people. It's normal to do all the things that back then were so hard to do.
Do you think Europeans, and by the way, I just want to make sure everybody that's watching that you understand that I mean you've been in business for not too long, maybe what, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that, maybe less than that, and you make millions of dollars a year, multi-millionaire. You travel the world, you live in Dubai, you live in Europe, you live in Italy, you're all over the place. You just visited California not too long ago when we had dinner. And so I just want everybody to understand you're definitely an exceptional dude. And we've had some really great conversations. And so I know your thinking is correct. You're thinking the right way. You're thinking like a champion. You're thinking like a winner. You got a big business. Hopefully you could tell us about that and how that got started for you. But I just want to make sure everybody's very, very clear. And then also, if you are loving this podcast and you want to, share it with other people, make sure you share, subscribe, and like our YouTube video, and of course us on iTunes and Spotify. So anyways, how did you get started in business, man? When did that start? Where did it start? And tell us exactly what you do, specifically.
Yep. So it was 2016, and in Europe, Italy specifically, the online kind of, sales, entrepreneurship, network marketing side of the world was disconnected for real. Like there wasn't anyone building or teaching or talking about financial freedom, because I realized nowadays that the term financial freedom, it's so almost inflated. Like everyone says about financial freedom and work 5 years, eat shit for 5 years, and eat caviar for the rest of your life, all those kind of narratives. But back then in 2016, actually in 2015, my mom bumped into like a kind of event, financial freedom event, where they were starting to talk about this concept about building something that can pay you for the rest of your life. And my mom, she has a little company, as I said before, and she was like, what? And she started reading some Robert Kiyosaki's books. She started reading, some of those books. And I remember she kept telling me, like, dude, like, listen, like, I was 17, so my mind wasn't focused on making money, was focused on playing basketball, was focused on whatever, just chilling and living the life as a teenager, let's say. And when I almost turned 18, she brought me to an event in Vienna, Austria, because she almost forced me. She's like, come on, come with me, please, make me a favor and come with me to listen to one of these 14,000 people event. Against my will, I decided to go just to make her a favor. And when I got there, I realized it was something, because 14,000 people. And at this event, it was a network marketing event. There was a guy who was gifted a Lamborghini. And, to a 17-year-old kid, it was impressing to me. So when I came back, actually, I wasn't so fired up because I didn't know anything about the business itself, because I just went there for my mom. But some of my friends, I remember I put a story on Snapchat, just a story of the event. And some of my friends who saw the Snapchat story, they asked me, so, hey, where did you go? What was that? And I truthfully didn't know anything. So I told them, hey, look, I don't know, like, I think it's a business thing. It was cool. Somebody got a gift to the Lamborghini. So they were like, what? And I decided unconsciously to take them with me to an event, a presentation event of the company. And so that's how it all got started at the beginning. So randomly, I would say, because my mom never built the business. She was just a customer. She was just interested in the mindset, let's say.
And so what does the company actually do? What do you guys sell? What do you market? How do you get clients?
So their first company, I changed company after 3.5 years because the company, had issues. They didn't solve the problems for the customers very well and everything. So the compensation plan was changed. So the company had issues. But back then, you solved companies' problems, serving them with websites, for example, how to attract more customers, lead generation, and all those kind of things. So you had to go to companies, small, medium, big companies, and just show them the platform in which, if they joined, they could have attracted more customers and everything. So this was my beginning. So I remember myself dressed like with my dad shirts and my dad suits that didn't suit me at all. And because the first meetings I remember I went with my Air Max, the Nike shoes. I went with my baggy trousers. And so I remember the speaker after 3 presentations, 3 events I attended, he called me out saying, "Hey, look, come here. Like, I appreciate you. I can see your willingness. I can see your desire. But look, if you want to come here, I open my doors, but please, you need to dress properly." I said, okay. Because I never ever dressed with a shirt in my entire life almost. You know, when people turn 18 and they throw the parties, I remember I wasn't going with a shirt. So to me, I saw my desire for success in that precise moment, because I remember I said, it's okay to put a shirt and a suit for this business. And I changed. And when you change from the inside, yes, somebody had to tell you, but you say, I want to do that. I remember there was a tipping point for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's funny because all I kept thinking about right now is me going on my first appointments with my trainer. I was 21 years old and I was wearing like really baggy jeans. And I had those yellow work boots, you know, those construction boots. And they were like kind of like a yellow brownish kind of color. And I had like a white t-shirt. And this is how I went to my first appointment. So because I didn't know how to dress. Nobody ever taught me how to dress, especially in a professional way. So it was different for me. So I really relate to that, because at such a young age, a lot of us are not taught these things, and you just don't do it. I mean, I wore a baggy jeans, blue jeans, white t-shirt, and a baseball hat almost every day, all of my high school years. So, I mean, that was the way I dressed, and I didn't know any different. So you had to change, and especially as a young kid, you had to make, some changes. So then you end up getting started with another company, and this company has been pretty, is done pretty well for you. So tell us about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I made millions with this company, because when I tested the money, because with the first company, I got to experience how is it to work really hard and not make money. So it was a school to me, a big training. Like, I always tell people, the money I make today, it's all coming from and derives from the money I did not make back then. Because what I tend to witness these days, it's so many people, they make money too quickly. Also with the company I'm building since back then, people are making money too fast. Like, if I compare them to me, I'm like, and I'm almost laughing inside of me, because I'm like, you're gonna see, you're gonna face a big smack in your face. I'm just waiting for you to come and call me. I'm like, hey, how did you do when something went wrong? Because those people are making money too quickly. I did not, but actually that was a super helpful path to me. So yeah, when I tested the money, because the complaint was correct, the company was solid, and the thing I was offering also was more interesting to my target and everything, life changed. Money changed.
Why is it that a lot of people struggle? Because I mean, when we talk about MLM, direct marketing, these type of business, number one, they get ridiculed for sure. You know that they get ridiculed. A lot of haters. A lot of people are just like almost religiously against this type of system. You know, it's just a system. It's all it is just a system of making money. I mean, some people make money being, dog trainers. Some people make money as a scientist. Some people make money corporate America. We're just another way of making money. It's not that it's good or bad or whatever. Everybody has the option to make money whatever way they want to make money. But why is it that it's so ridiculed? And why do you think also that, some people just don't make money in our types of businesses?
Yeah, you said it right. It's ridiculed, and because of the people who join, I think, and the little training they get. So I think, as everything in life, there's a flip side. Everything has a flip side, everything. Also, success is a flip side. Like everyone sees a success you have, maybe I have, he has, she has, but they don't see the sacrifices and the everything, you know, like you want to have a very in shape body. People don't see the back, let's say the backstage, you know. And in network marketing, I think is the same. Like everyone promotes the fact that with little money you can start, with very less money, rather than compared to every other kind of businesses, you can start and make a ton of money. But the flip side is so many people join, wrong expectations, very few trainings, and so they just tend to call everyone and promote it like, hey, look, I'm gonna change your life, but I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So this is the issue. I think this industry sorts out very well who decides to become smart and who doesn't. I think it's a field, it's a battlefield for souls, because I think a soul here shines, because it's a real soul. I don't know, but if she's guided well, if the soul is guided well, she gets it. So I think it's guidance, skill sets, so trainings, and then hard work, of course, hard work.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the part that people forget. You know, we could ridicule anything. I mean, I was on my Wealth on the Beach Club coaching program before I got on with you, and I was telling them that, you know, let's be honest. I mean, I've been doing this business for 25 years, and I have never once said it was a get rich quick scheme. You know, I've never once said that you're going to get rich overnight. I've always said that it's an opportunity. It's a chance to get rich. Just like it's a chance to get rich if you invent the next great invention, you know, gadget or whatever. And it's just, you know, if you're an inventor, you're just inventing every day because you're trying to invent something to help you get rich. Well, in our business, I just got up every day and I said, I'm going to get really good. I'm going to master my craft. And then I'm going to go and apply that information that I got from the trainings and the mentorship and the guidance, like you said. And I'm just going to try to do the best that I can do. And that's all I ever did. I never really worried about getting rich fast or quick or anything like that. I just said, I'm going to run it like a business. I'm going to treat it like a business. I'm going to run it like a real company. I'm not going to, you know, because one of the challenges with most salespeople is they're inconsistent, and inconsistency will lead to failure. Would you agree with that?
100%, 1,000%. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people.
You didn't want to get rich quick, but at the end of the day, you did, because if you compare yourself to 99.9% of population, at the end, that's what happened. And not only rich in all the areas, which I think is the real rich, because rich is not about money. That's called money. That's wealth to me, richness in general, it's body, mind, soul, relationship. It's something very fulfilling, which I think you start to understand it as soon as you make money. When you start making money, it opens the door and says, it tells you, look, checkpoint one, done, ticked. Now you got the third, the second, the third, and go on. So unbelievable.
Tell me about the Sales Life University, man. Tell me all about it. What's going on? You and Daniel G ready to take over the world, man. What's going on? Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, we're crazy. So yeah, so basically also already since I think it's 3 years now, I've been selling, you know, coaching calls myself in private, and sales trainings to other organizations, other companies, you know, restructuring the sales process for certain companies, real estate, insurance, blah, blah, blah. And then Daniel G came into my life almost 2 years ago. And he's a fucking sales trainer. Sorry for the word, sometimes it comes out.
It's okay.
And he came into my life, and he's this crazy dude yelling at everyone and teaching sales heavily. And so we met, and he started to tell me, look, we need to bring sales more heavily into Italy and Europe, because I can see you tell me in Italy, it's missing something serious. And so I was always a little bit skeptical because, just in general, if I put my face into something, it needs to be something not just serious, but profitable, long-term. It needs to make sense, not just for the money. It needs to have sense for the long run. So at the end of the day, I said, yes, let's do that. Because of course it brings such a value on the table and it's very famous and we're good friends. And so the combo was perfect. So we said, let's do that. And so, yeah, basically we have just launched this course where we teach people the basics, which for me, it's the basics, but for a normal guy, it's from A to Z, training about sales, the mindset, prospecting, following up, closing, everything, referrals, everything, let's say, that helps somebody to go from zero to a very good level in sales.
And what are you guys finding, especially you working with salespeople for all these years? I mean, what are you finding? What are some of the major challenges that salespeople encounter?
I think, first of all, is the mindset, the psychology behind sales, and thinking that sales is something negative, being pushy. Like, people have been trained not to sell, even though they've been selling always. And like, I witnessed that so heavily when I was, graduating. And I remember all my friends that they dressed differently when they were in front of the teacher. When they had to be judged, then I remember before with the baggy trousers and the shoe, but that the day where they had to expose the thesis, everything, were like clean, shaved and everything. I'm like, this is interesting. So you see, like, actually people tend to sell every day. So I think, first of all, it's the mindset, the belief system behind it. And second thing, it's actually the skills, because saying that sales is just about mindset and believing and feeling in service, rather than it's a side which so many people lack. But then you also need to train them what to say, the tonality, the voice, the poses, understanding human behaviors and stuff. So yeah, both things.
And as far as like relationships, do you guys talk about how to build relationships, how to, how to create, connection with people and all that kind of stuff? Because I think that's one of the pieces that I see missing in the sales processes, is the actual building of the relationships, because relationships are everything. I mean, you can't sell without relationships. If you don't meet new people and make new friends every single day, you will run out of people to talk to. So there has to be a constant flow of either lead generation coming in or a constant flow of relationships that are building in. And by the way, when the leads come in, that's the time that you start building the relationships with those leads. But do you guys talk about relationships and how to build relationships? And maybe give me some ideas of what are some of the things you teach as far as how to get clients, how to create activity that we can share with the audience.
Yes. So first of all, the reason it's called Sales and Life and not just sales, because what I added to the sales concept of Daniel G is, because to me it's very clear, like, sales and life are the same thing at the end of the day. You cannot think to switch on and switch off your brain when you decide, now I'm going to sell, and now I don't, because now I'm at home. Because actually sales, it's life in itself. Like, every day I talk to someone, every day I go to the supermarket, every day. Like, when I really decide to wear the sales and life glasses and decide that I want to master this life game, which includes sales and knowing how to communicate and stuff, then I smell it and I see that with people, like, they work differently, because then wherever they go, they always know that what they're offering, it's useful to other people. And so they start talking to other people and they start offering value before asking for something back, reciprocity. And so what I see, it's so beautiful to see when people get that sales, it's not detached from life, And so they stop thinking that they need to talk to somebody else just because they want a commission, but they want to share their good vibes, for example. They want to share their positivity. They want to share their good intentions. They want to share what they're feeling and living in their business. And so I feel people, disarm themselves from the fear of talking to other people, because they get into the mindset of giving and not taking. So, for example, it's so easy to recruit somebody else, to prospect somebody else, when you really decide to, okay, every day I'm gonna smile and say hello to 10 people. I don't even have to recruit them, yell a line out, smile and say hello. First step. Second step, smile, say hello, and ask a question. Third, smile, say hello, ask a question, and create a conversation. So, step by step. But I think the more we train people about the lines to say, the less they're going to say those. The more we train them to just be a good human being and sharing what we built home behind the scenes, working out, smiling, treating our spouse better, our children, whoever, then we're going to transmit this to the outside world, and sales becomes easy.
So do you think that people are more positive in Europe or less positive in Europe, like compared to America, just say? What's your thoughts on that? Curious.
This is a good question. I would say less positive. Yes. I would say a different level, a different kind of positive and negative. I think people in Europe, they have a bigger burden in their shoulders just because of the ages we've been, genealogically on Earth. So what I witness in Europe, in Italy, people have lots of weights based on the nonno, the grandparents, and the house we're living in. It was built in 1627, and so they just feel they have to guard, they have to protect, they have to stay, they have to. Instead, in America, this is I think that the very beautiful side. Like, you're like, let's build, let's grow, which in Europe, maybe also because of the spaces, because of the. I think these things influence the people mindset.
Yeah, because I've never really sold in Europe, but I've been to Europe quite a bit this last couple of years, and I sense that there is a lack of abundance mentality. There's definitely a different mentality when it comes to belief. So I think what you and Daniel G are doing is so good, is so important to Europe, because there has to be a mindset change, in my opinion, at least what I've seen so far, for so many people that think small. And maybe it's like, look, Europe, there was, not too long ago, there was communism, you know what I mean? There was things that were happening in that part of the world, maybe just less than 100 years ago. Like, crazy things were happening. And so I think there was a lot of trauma in societies. And I think that's what you're trying to say, is that through these generations, there's a lot of heavy weights on these people that are like skeptical. Oh, that's bullshit. It'll never work. It's not possible. We've gone through that. If we do good, something bad's going to happen, because they've gone through so many, really devastating situations. And then look at now, right? You got the Russia and Ukraine thing, and all this is actually pretty close to Italy. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a European issue, right? I mean, and who knows what's going to happen? There's a lot of uncertainty, economic uncertainty, currency changes. I mean, look I was just in Turkey, and it was 26, almost 27 to 1 on the to the dollar. And so people, you could just feel the pressure that people have right now to try to, just survive, I think. And so
Yep.
I think what you guys are doing is so powerful and important to the world, especially in Europe, because people need to change their mindset. People need to start thinking differently. People need to start having a think big attitude, a thinking a more abundance mentality, that things are possible, that there is, that good things still can happen to them. Because let's be honest, you're in Europe and you've made millions in the last few years. So you're living proof that good things can happen to anyone that makes good choices. So tell me your thoughts on that.
100%. Like, and I also like you're so correct because of the wars that have been and everything, and also because of the language, because English speaking people have an unfair advantage, and of course it is what it is. Like, we're not playing the victim role, but speaking English, oh my God, that's a big advantage. And also having a, let's say, much wider population, which is not only North America, which is almost 500 million, I think, or maybe more, but also India, also England, also Australia, also everyone in the world, if they have to learn a language, they speak English. So also the boundaries of the language, I think it's something that makes people think smaller, because they're like, oh, but I live in Slovakia, I live in France, and I live in Germany, in Italy, in Portugal, and the Portuguese is spoken only in Portugal and Brazil. So that's the, so yeah, something to add, I think, for sure.
And so what do you see like the future of sales, man? I mean, do you think that we are going to continue to be a digital society? I mean, because you still do in-person events. I mean, you do in-person events with people, live, breathing souls. And whereas a lot of businesses, they're just going towards this model of completely online, completely digital. And so where do you see the future of sales and marketing and building teams?
So for sure, the online section is not going to go down. It's going to keep increasing and growing and scaling and everything. At the same time, I would be a liar if I told you that the in-person and the connection, human to human, it's over. Actually, I think it's gonna be the edge. Who's gonna be strong in the online section, but very wise, very careful about the human interaction, is gonna take over. Because now everyone thinks, I just need to press some buttons and touch some, keyboard. But you know that much better than I do, because of the age you have and the things you've experienced and the things you witness. People need human interaction. People need to have fun. People need to smile. People need emotions. So I think that's the culture side of every business that cannot be replaced by any technology or robot or marketing side.
Well, man, this has been powerful to hang with you, man. I just, Joe, you're quite an inspiration to me. And I've been in business for a long time, man. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and you're an absolute stud. You're an absolute winner. How do people get a hold of you? They want to reach out to you. They want to talk to you. They want to ask you questions. They want to join your sales university. How does this happen? Give me a few places that they can find you.
So they can reach out to me on IG. They can reach out to me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, almost everywhere. If there's another platform coming out, for sure I'm gonna be there. So everywhere you can find me.
I love it, man. I love it. And then the last thing is, man, what's your, what, if you were to talk to your younger self, man, and I know you're already young, but your young self, any advice that you would give yourself right now, man, that little 10-year-old kid, what advice would you give him?
I would just tell him to keep going for real, which includes everything, like listening to the right people, reading those books, taking time to, just think of where you had that, what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, like step by step. But I can still see that today, it's going forward, the key, falling forward, moving forward, non-stopping at the end of the day, which is so cliche, so stupid, but it's so cliche because it's so true. That's why it becomes cliche. So at the end of the day, everyone says the same old stuff because it works. So,
well, man, I appreciate you, Joe, and man, I wish you the absolute best in your future. Look forward to doing some more collaborations and events in the future. Excited about that, and there's no question, man. Your future's very, very bright, and I wish you all the best.